Buenos dias. And welcome to MATTO'S Board Box Mania. Let's have a look at a box I've made. And what box have we got today? We have got the granddaddy, the one that started it all for me. Settlers. Big mother of Settlers. This was the first box I made. Big, innit? For the first attempt. It's pretty good. Now I'm just going to talk about this box. We used to play loads of Settlers. In the 90s, late 90s I think I got Settlers. We used to play it all the time. You see, I've got this, is this the third edition I had? And I had this, and I had Seafarers, and I had Cities and Knights. We play it all the time. And the boxes they came in, I used to get really annoyed with, you know, you had to have 3 boxes and you could keep some bits in some and some bits in another. It's the same with a lot of games these days with expansions and things. That's why one reason why I make boxes, all get it into one box. And I thought, I know, I'll make a Settlers box. That'd be nice. I didn't expect it to be as big as this. But I'm going to talk about things in it, you know, things about it. So the first thing, and how things are, you know, how I've changed and improved. Now the first thing that's pretty obvious is this is in brown paper. These days I paint them black. And why do I paint them black? It's because, you know, this is, you know, I mean, I don't know when I made this. When did I make this? 12, 13 years ago, maybe even longer. And it's held up pretty damn well. But it just looks dirty. I've got a bit of a dirty house. I had problems with dust. Loads of dust. I had problems with loads of ash because we have a wood burning stove as our heating. Ash gets everywhere. You see the top layer of my board games on the shelves are covered in this layer of ash. This stuff, spider poo. Do you know how much trouble I have with spider poo in my life? All over my boxes. It goes really hard and horrible. It goes all over my stone carving. Spider poo. You wouldn't have thought about it, but geez man, they don't half poo a lot. All over the place. And it's covered in it. Look, all this black stuff. It's all spider poo. Nothing I can do about it. Now, so that's an obvious one. You can also see, you know, I've cut out the original box here. It's very worn because we played it so much. Yeah, the Seafarers one isn't so bad. But this is where I tried, because I had that and I cut the Seafarers, Cities and Knights. But that's all I had, because I cut these off the lids of the boxes. They're not from the sides because this is so fat. So I printed them out. I copied them on a printer and I printed them onto photo paper. I thought that's a good idea, that'll look great. And you can see there's one reason why I don't like using printouts and things, and why I cut up the original boxes, because these printouts, they're all faded, look, and that's not because of sunlight or anything, because it doesn't sit in the sunlight. That's just pure age compared to the original boxes which hold all their things. The printouts are awful. And sure, you could get really professional printouts, you know. Cost a load of money. Probably a nice way to do it. But anyway, so that's the basic thing of this. Scuzzy old box. Jeez man, what a weight. It's really heavy. Do a bit of weightlifting in that. So you've got to think what this has in it. This has got the Settlers of Catan, Seafarers, Cities and Knights, and it's got the next edition, Traders and Barbarians, and it's also got a really old expansion called Alexander the Great and Cheops, which was 2nd edition, I think. I got that from a German lady on Bantry Market. You know, to find board games in the west of Ireland at a market was unbelievable. You know, I was just walking around the market and there's this shining light. I got this, the Alexander the Great, and that. I got Java, And I've got Axis and Allies, and I've got a load of Magic cards. I've got loads of stuff off her. Oh, I was absolutely delighted. But anyway, I really like those expansions. So, let's have a look. Let's have a look what's going on. It's a beast. The beast. Big beast it is. Now, it's got a lovely action. Now, that tallness. Now, if this box was painted, this would be an absolute disaster getting off. Disaster. It'd be so tight. I don't know what kind of tolerances I've built into it. You know, that's pretty tight around there. But that's one of the advantages of not putting the paint on. I mean, it's just got this lovely action. Massive. It's massive. What's that? Kickstarter Settlers. Deluxe edition. Right. Blam. So this is what we got. Now it doesn't look, these are in mint condition. I found last year a copy of this edition of normal Settlers in a charity shop in like perfect condition. Hardly played, and my ones, these and the cards have gone. The cards were completely trashed, and now I've got a new set of cards. It doesn't fit with the commodity cards from Cities and Nights, and I'm missing a card from now. I'm missing a few bits from this because I lent it out to someone, and it came back with a missing card, a missing road, a missing tile. I was really annoyed. Anyway, you don't want to hear about my irrelevant stuff, do you? You want to talk about the box because we're box nutters. So let's have a look at what we got here. So you got a component tray. Now this has got, you know, cities. I even wrote what compartments for what, settlements, roads. Got your city walls, your boats, and then this stuff is for, I think, traders and barbarians. Let me just check the camera angle. Oh, I've always got to do this. It's just, you know, God, my fat belly. My belly looks so fat on these videos. My belly isn't as fat as it looks. Or maybe it is. Cities and Nights. I mean, not Cities and Nights. What am I on about? Camera never lies. Right, doof, one of them. Now, little design things. Where I picked them up from, I've put double thickness. These are all single thickness boxes. Covered. I spent so long on this box, it's unbelievable, do you know what I mean? Jesus. But double thickness, because where you pick them up, if you just pick them up on the single thickness, they're likely to break. Double thickness. Got one of them. I've got one of those for each colour. Orange on the bottom, no one ever plays orange. So, there we go. So, I'll put those back in. 4 of them. Always put the red on the top. I always play red. So I always put red on the top. I don't know why, I like red pieces. It's probably some psychological thing about playing red. And then we got here, we've got all our tiles. So these are the things from Alexander the Great. Dritter Bereta, Zweiter Bereta, Erster Bereta. Looks like that. A few tiles. These are different ports and different ports from different editions. Bits and bobs. Now this comes out. And then we got the things from the Cities and Nights and the Fisherman of Catan. Little expansion there again. Double thickness where you pick it up. Cities and Nights. The way I like to play this was Cities and Nights with Seafarers on a randomly generated board. Magic. I don't play Settlers anymore really. I mean, you know, we used to play this all the time. Sometimes we played this 5 times a night, you know. We played it all the time, like lots of people did. And now, I just find the dice roll can be really annoying. You know, you've played really well, and you're on your 6 and 8s, and you've got great numbers, and they never come up. And then suddenly someone puts a robber on your 8 that you really need, and the 8 comes up 3 times. You get rid of the robber, and it doesn't come up for ages. It's the game. But I think it's just been overplayed. You know, and I'd never turn down a game of Settlers, but I would never instigate it. But maybe I should play it more. You know, there's all kinds of, you know, a few of these traders and these barbarians expansions I've never played. Right, there we go, 3 of them. Lesser used pieces down the bottom. So that's probably traders and barbarians pieces, most of them. That's the Cities and Nights pieces. And that's your basic pieces. And then we got tiles. I prefer these tiles to the modern ones. I like the look of them. Whole bunch of the Settlers tiles with all the quirky ones at the bottom. And again, I've got all new tiles from that new set that I found in the charity shop, because the old tiles were really beat up. I gave the old set to my son. Gave my son the beat up set. And we've got all the cards in tuck boxes. You can photocopies on them. Don't really need to show you those, do I? Traders and Barbarians. Well, let's have a look. Let's see what we got. Oh yeah, look, no, we've got the Traders and Barbarian cards. I've got the number cards, the ones to put in instead of the dice. They never quite did it for me, you know. They never quite did it for me. Anyway, whatever, that's boring. I don't want to waffle too much on this. Now, here you go. But this box, look, it's really thick. It's got more layers. This is a big layer. Now, this is a big layer that comes out. Now, you see I've got these two little stops in here, and this stops this tray going around. But these stops, I don't know if you can see, they're kind of shaped like that, with an angle going up, and they have to be, because if that was a square stop, the same thickness all the way up, there's no way that I'm going to pull that out, because that bottom corner of the tray, as you lift it, moves out. So you have to think about these kind of things. A lot to it, isn't it? I haven't looked at this box in years, man. Years since I looked in this box. Now we've got another tray. But and again, same thing. This is a much thinner tray. What have we got in this one? So I've got all sorts in this one. So I've got the original Cities and Knights and Seafarers frames. You didn't get the frames in the original 3rd edition Settlers. You know, the tiles were just loose. Then we got the frames, so I like that. And then I've got these. These are like the next edition, 4th edition, is it? There was a little upgrade pack or something you could get, I think, when the 4th edition came out. And you know, he gave you this rivers thing, which I'm not sure I've ever played with really. But I got those as well. These look much nicer. Why is it? Right. You know, a lot of board games, especially these days, the art is just amazing. But why do I prefer the old art? Generally. There's something charming about it, something innocent. You know, when you think of, I don't know, say something like Kalis, it's the one that just springs to mind. And the modern Kalis cover compared to the Grumpy King. The Grumpy King cover, it just blows it out of the water. It's got so much character. Do you know? Like, you know, these have got so much character, so much more character than these, I think. I don't know. Maybe I'm just being nostalgic. Probably. It's short. A lot of the art on a lot of the modern games is amazing, and it's just can't even think of the word. You know, credit. It gets its, you know, it's worthy. You know, it's worthy. It's great art, but there's something about the old art that I like. Even something like El Grande, which I made my box for. You know, the art's a bit crap in that, really, but I like it. It's, you know, I don't know. Not all of them. Some of the old games art's crap. It's nostalgia. It's nostalgia. But it's, you know, it's like video games. You know, you look at video games these days, and maybe I'm just an old duffer, and this is it. But I don't really play video games these days. But you know, they're also nuts and mental graphics and all kind of stuff like that. And yeah, I'm sure there's brilliant games out there, amazing games. But a lot of them are all the same, you know. Like you can go back to those games of, you know, the early PlayStation games, or even further back into the 80s and the old arcade games. And I much enjoyed those kind of game. The gameplay was great. It wasn't all relying on graphics or the look or the art. The gameplay was great. I like the old games. I like new games, but there's something I like, you know. Oh, shut up. There's another one going to waffle. Next one. Skinny old layer. Oh, I've got the rule books all the way down here because what do you need the rule books for Settlers for? Everyone knows the rules off by heart. I don't forget now. I've got a few things in here. I've got scenarios. I don't know what all that is. This is like, that's like the next edition, isn't it? And then the Cheops rules. These are all the pieces for Alexander the Great and the Cheops. Look at these pieces. They're skimpy as anything. You know, it goes to show how old it was. Look how thin they are and how skimpy they are. You know, you know, they have much better work than that, artwork than that these days. And look, you know, little standy. You know, that's Alexander the Great. You get a big fat mini with that now, and it'll look a lot better. And these little tokens. I don't know. I'm just showing you these ancient old tokens. Why not? Why not? Not great. And then at the end, final thing, we've got the board for Cheops. I'll just show you this because maybe not many people have seen this or aware of it. Look at the size of that board. It's massive. Look at that. It's massive, and it's all desert and grain. You know what you got? A couple of brick spots dotted around, mountains off to the side. I really like it, but, you know. But it's all just desert. And you build this pyramid. You build the Great Pyramid up here. Build all, you know, brilliant. I suppose, you know, there's all kinds of Settlers, things that I'm not aware of, but this one is a bit to me. And this is the Alexander the Great board, which I enjoy this one. This is really old edition, you know, and you follow the route that Alexander took. I can't really remember the rules. Been a long time since I played that. I was delighted when I got this, and in many ways I cut the box up. Oh no, I didn't cut the box up. I cut the rule book up. Or is that the box? Oh no, just for these two bits to put on the box. Maybe I did. Maybe I've still got the box up and I lost. I think I have actually. No, I definitely cut it up. Did I really cut it up just for those bits? And then you can see I've got this board in here. You can see I have to put a little strip in there of the thickness of the board, so that goes in with a bit of play so you can get it out. Dead insects in here and everything. There's no spider put in there. And again, you know, like you look at that and it's all looks a bit messy because of the glue and painting black these days. A lot of work went into this one. Look, I mean, triple walls I've got here. No extra strength. This one's got triple walls as well. Single. No, are these double walls or? I'm not sure if they're single. They're double walls. You know, so if you think about this, I've made 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 14 pieces like that I've cut just for the walls and two struts. But it's going to last for ages. This goes in. Now it's a bit of a beast because, you know, my son quite likes to play Settlers with his kind of friends who aren't mega gamers and they know Settlers, they get the Settlers out. It's a bit of a beast to get off the shelf because the shelf's up high. It's really heavy. But that's my Settlers box. That is going to keep my... How old is my edition of Settlers? It's over 20 years. I think it was 1999 I think we were playing Magic the Gathering, Mercadian Masks we were playing was the set, and that's about when we were playing this. And I'm just going to quickly say on the end, just waffle a bit, you know. We got Settlers and Magic the Gathering by my my girlfriend, she went in the toy shop in Cork City and she saw this thing called Magic. And she thought, oh, we'll buy that looks interesting. I mean, at the time, we were playing Talisman, 2nd edition. We used to play that all the time. All the time, we loved it. And we played it so much, hundreds of times, that every single card we had all the expansions except Dragons. We had like 4 expansions, 5 expansions, I think. And for every single card and every single space and every single character or whatever, we'd made up stupid words and phrases. You know, so like the Warrior of Chaos was like the Was of Cos, and the Wizard was the Wiz that was. And when you became the High Mage, you'd have to stand up straight and go, High Mage! And certain cards, you know, like the Horse and Cart was Force of Heart. Every single thing had a stupid name and a stupid phrase. And then I could go off on a right tangent there. And then my girlfriend brought home Magic. She brought home Portal starter set. And she brought home Settlers of Catan, which her sister had said, oh, there's a funny old game called Settlers of Catan. I never heard of it. It changed our lives. We were always sort of gamers before, you know. But the Settlers and Magic the Gathering, as many people, whole new world. And look at where I am now. Board game geek. Board game box nutter. And it's all because of Settlers of Catan and Magic the Gathering. So, goodbye. I've waffled on up. Settlers, big beast. See you later.